So the next step, believe it or not, is not sewing it together. When you are wanting to add flowers and things, and if you're going to sew the signatures together, now is a good time to add some of those flowers because you can make some adjustments for the slight dimension of the flowers that you plan on using. So let me grab my flowers and I'll be back. Okay, when I bought this paper line a long time ago, it's probably been a couple years at least, maybe. It's the Prima Marketing Epiphany paper line and this A4 paper pad. I had also bought a lot of the flowers because back then I was making custom scrapbooks and custom wedding albums and all of that jazz, so I have all that kind of stuff that I'm not doing that anymore, so I'm going to try to start using them. So what you want to, the reason you want to add these now is you want to be able to adjust your binding to allow for a little bit more dimension inside. So I've got all these pretty flowers, and I have several packs of some, and I've already picked out some. Like these flowers here, they have these great big centers. They look like this. They're pretty large. And I had to take those off of some, but maybe I'll use them on the cover because the cover doesn't matter, the dimension on the cover. So I've already picked some out, and some of the ones that I had to take the centers out of, like this one, I've used, this one is actually Martha Stewart, a little flower crystal sticker that I used the alcohol inks on. This one, just like I did in that butterfly and flower paper clip video, and changed them to black, and I've done that to some of the other stuff. So I'm just going to start messing around with some of it. So I don't want to put anything on the front just yet. I haven't decided on the first page just yet. I haven't decided yet. But I do want to put some things here. So I love this one with the feather. So I'm thinking I'm going to put this one here. There's not that much dimension and it kind of stands out. And then this yellow one, there's a lot of yellow in this paper over here. I think I'm going to put it here. Oh, and I don't know if I showed you or not, but I added some little extra things that were printed off with the paper. So I think I'm going to add those two there, and I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac for that. And it grabs on really fast, so you don't have to sit there and hold it, you know. It'll grab it pretty good. You may have to come back and check it to make sure it's pressed down all the way, but it should. I think I want the flowers sticking out like that. I mean the feathers. That's cute. I like it. You can also ink these flowers if you wanted to. So I'm just going to add a few to each page because I don't want to take up too much time doing it. And then the magnets for these are on the round part. So I think I'm going to, this flower, they have like a whole bunch of seed beads glued in the middle. I don't know if you can really see that well. And I just put a dot of the alcohol ink in the center. Then I have kind of a matching smaller one right there. I'm going to grab that. Since this page is so matchy-matchy, I thought it'd be kind of cool to have the same type of flower. This one needs a center. So I've got those crystals that I showed you in my mom's scrapbook. I put some black alcohol ink on there too, and let it dry before I start handling them because I have a white shirt on, so that would not be good. I'm going to stick that right there. See, just simple little things can really, I hope you can see the sparkle, can really make a difference in what your finished scrapbook looks like. I want to put this one here, and I think I want to put that one there. I don't know if I'm going to, oh, it won't hurt. I'll show you. It won't hurt nothing. I'm just going to put a tiny, tiny drop and just let that do its thing. I'm going to go ahead and glue it down and everything because my glue is exploding over here. Just so it looks like it was supposed to be black, supposed to be like that. And then I'm going to glue this down on the flap over here. Just like that. And it needs a center too, doesn't it? It does. Alright, I'm going to grab another one of those crystal ones. And put a glue dot on the back of it. Put that right in the center. Well, doesn't that look adorable? That's so cute. I like it. Okay, so the front and the back cover page, I'm not sure what I want to do yet. I haven't worked that out yet. So, let's see. I kind of like these feathery ones because they're flatter. And then I've got these here. That one might be too much dimension, but let's see what we got. You don't want to put too much because then, you know, you're going to have an alligator no matter what you do. Let's see. That one's two-dimensional. That one doesn't look like the right peach, but it is. It's the right paper line. No, that one doesn't stand out anywhere. No, I don't really like those. So I've got a little label here for a date or something. These are stuck down. I love this one. Isn't that pretty? Or I can put it on the... No. Do something like that. Maybe. Oh, that's cute. Maybe put a couple on the back one. That looks kind of cute. That's what we'll do for now. Just so we don't go too crazy. I love these things. I love... Or do I want to use this yellow one over here? No, I like the gray. I'm trying to figure out which way I want that to be. With the little poppy yellow. That looks good. Alright, so I'm going to touch these down. Right there. That one right there. Oh, we gotta be careful. That's the spine over there. It's over here too. Be careful. Can't have things sticking out like that. I guess you could. I guess it doesn't really matter. Alright, let's see. And that might be all I'm gonna do for right now, because I don't want to get too carried away. So I'm gonna move these flowers out of the way. And I'm gonna let those dry for a minute, and then we'll come back and sew. Oh, no, we can't. No, we can't. We can sew the signatures together. So I'll let these dry for a minute, and then I'll come back and we'll start sewing and putting them together. Okay, so the next step is I'm going to mark and poke the holes for the binding. We're going to do the... Let me grab the original. We're going to do the Coptic Stitch, which is this. I know you're all probably thinking, how the heck are you going to do that? But I'm going to show you. We're going to do it this method. And so first thing I need to do is mark my holes. So I'm going to take my top signature here, which is 2 pages. Make sure nothing's flopping around. And, you know, there's a 1/2 inch in here. So what you want to do, I'm going to get my white gel pen so you can see. I'm going to do a 3-hole method. So I'm using my Tim Holtz ruler that has the center mark in it. Sorry, that has the, you know, the center marked, which is nice. And I'm going to find the center, And remember where you scored those places? You do not want your hole to be on that score. So you just want to go right inside that score mark. I hope you can see that. So you're going to mark the center, and then, oops, I wasn't perfectly centered. Mark the center, and then you want to decide how far up or down you want to be from the top. So I'm going to go to 2 3/4, which is 3/4 of an inch from the top. And then same on this side, 2 3/4, just like that. So I've got those 3 holes marked on that side. Then I'm going to flip it around, and I'm going to lay my ruler back down, and I'm going to mark this side the same exact way. So I'm going to mark a hole here, right in the center, 2 3/4, 2 3/4. Oops. They should be pretty close. So do you see there's 2 sets of marks? So I'm going to do that to both pages, or signatures, I'm sorry. Now I would probably normally use a pencil so that I could erase it, but I wanted you guys to be able to see exactly what I was doing. So now I want to get my foam mat thingy out, and I'm going to use my paper piercer, and I'm just going to gently poke through both of those, or all 6 of those holes. So, can you see all them holes? I poked through all the holes. Alright, now I'm going to do this side, or this page. Okay, so I am super zoomed in here, but I wanted to get close to the to what I was doing so you could see. All I have here is, this is crochet thread, and it's a green color. It's not an exact match, but it looks nice against the black. So here's what you need to do. You need some sort of thread, whatever thread you like. I don't care. I don't really care if it's waxed or any of that business, because I like it to match the book that I'm making. So that's the way I've always done my wedding books and baby books and all of that. So you just give yourself a generous amount. It's real easy to add string later. So I'm just going to cut it off, and then I've got a curved needle. This is just a upholstery needle. You can usually find these types of needles in multi-packs with sometimes with some thicker straight needles. I'm trying to get this in here. There we go. You don't need a knot. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is you want to take your threaded needle, and you want to start at the bottom hole right there, these 2 bottom holes, the very bottom. So this would be the top side. So you just want to take your needle, go in that bottom hole. Yep. And come out on the inside, and then go all the way to that top hole right there on the bottom top hole. Oops. Yep, you need to be careful not to tangle it up. Okay, so now you're on the outside. Then you want to go over to that next top hole and go back inside the spine area right there. And then you want to go to the middle, go out to the outside of the spine. You're on the top, or the second set of holes, the top hole. Then you want to go into the middle of the bottom hole. You want to go back into the inside in the middle there. You want to be on one side of the string. Be careful not to lose your tail. You need to be one side of the string. See how it's on one side of the string there? Then you want to go back in that hole on the other side of the string. Just like that. So you just trapped that thread under there. And then you want to go your outside on the spine, then you want to go back into the top middle, bring it back in like that. Then you want to go out the bottom hole. So this is what it should look like on the inside. There should be 2 rows of strings, and then this is what it should look like on the outside. Okay, so then all you want to do is tie the tail. You know, you want to give it a gentle tug. You want to tie that to the tail. So however you know, it's just a double knot. I always like to put a little dab of glue, but I'll do that later. So I know it looks kind of like sparse right there. So I do, in the end, I'll show you. I do like a decorative thing where I make it thicker. Alright, so that's what you do with the first one. Now I realize you haven't really attached anything to anything yet. So, let me cut this tail off. So that's the bottom signature. That's what you want to start with. So then you want to take the next signature, and mine happens to be the top signature, and you want to lay it on top. Now I want you to see how much space is in between there. So that's why I wanted to add the flowers, so that I have room. I can adjust my stitching in order to allow for room for the flowers, if that makes sense. Alright, so how to attach this one? So we've got the thread on the top hole on the bottom signature. So we just want to do the same thing. Let me see if I can't tilt it up here. We want to go into that bottom hole of the second signature. And then come back out. Now this might feel a little awkward, a little clumsy, because you got all these flaps and stuff, but you just got to be patient. So it's going to, especially if you're trying to show a camera. So it's going to look like that on the outside, okay? So then you want to open it up and go down to the middle. Whoops, stay in camera, stay in frame. Go down to that middle hole, the bottom set of holes on the second signature. And you want to pull that through. And then here's where you're going to give yourself that room. So I know you're not going to be able to see very well. So you want to kind of hold it to where it's tight. Then you want to run your needle up underneath those 2 threads from the first signature in the middle. So don't pull too tight. I'm going to try to show you without losing my... See how much space I'm giving myself? So don't pull too tight. And then I like to do it twice in a situation like this, because I want it to have a little extra stability. So then you want to go back into that center hole. So you want to open it back up. See, it looks like that. Then you want to go back into the center hole. Whoa. Come out on the inside. Whoops. My thread is really not doubled over. It is doubled over, but that's just the tail. I had put too much thread in my... And careful not to pull too tight. You don't want to lose all that room that you just gave yourself. So then you want to go out. Good Lord gracious. Then you want to go out the top hole. And you want to come out the outside. So now you kind of got something that looks like this. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't pull it all the way through. You want to make sure you do that. Don't pull too tight, because you don't want to rip the hole. See, like that hole's getting a little big. So you come out the top hole there. And then, can you see? Hopefully you can see a little. And you want to kind of pull, not too tight, because you don't want to rip anything, nor do you want to squish. So then you want to do the same thing. Go up underneath that bottom string. And I'm going to do it twice. Just like that. So now it looks like this. Right? Nothing fancy. And then you want to go into the top hole on the top page. So you want to go and then go into the spine. This is a little awkward to try to do this for the camera. Whoops. Whoops, I forgot something. Hang on, we'll go back out that hole. Okay, since there's such a big gap, what I'm going to do is I am going to bring it up around that hole, the second signature's bottom hole, and I'm going to do just a loose knot, and it's going to make it like a loose loop right there, but that's okay because the end thing that I do kind of mask any of that. So now you want to go back into the top hole. Come through, go in the top hole in the middle. Boy, I don't know what I'm talking about there. You want to come out the spine just like that, and then again, I hope you can see, you want to go underneath and in between in that gap, underneath those strings. So now it looks like that. So I'll show you again. I'll try to do it holding it up. So you want to go underneath here, underneath those two strings, and then you pull it taut, not tight, but I want to say taut, but I don't want it to be tight. Okay, so then you want to go back in this hole right here. I know it looks like a hot mess, but I promise it looks good in the end. Come back through that middle hole there, just like that, and then you want to go out the bottom hole on the top page. Just like that. Then the same thing, you want to loop, hopefully you can see, you want to loop underneath that string, and there's only one string on that one. You want to do it once, you want to do it twice. Okay, so now these two signatures are attached together, no problem. Now to make that prettier, here's what I do. I'll try to hold it up so you can see. I'll start up here, and I'm going to go up underneath that string there, and then I'm going to try to, oh, hang on a minute, I know what the problem is. I'm going to go back in this top hole real quick. I know what the problem is. Top hole real quick, just went in the top hole there, came back into the center. I'm going to go up under the string there, and I'm going to just do a little bitty knot right there. Alright, then I'm going to come back out that top hole. Alright, there we go. So what I want to do is, to make it pretty, I'm going to go up underneath there, and I'm going to do the same type of knot, just like that, and then I'm just going to keep repeating that, and I'm going to work my way down. So it does take a few minutes, but it looks so nice versus just the string. See the difference in the two already? So that one I've done the special little thing, and then there's just a string there. So when it's time to go in the center, you just do the same thing. You just jump over that little knot that's there, and you just keep going until you've covered all of it. And it's easier when you got it laying down flat. Whoa, come back. But I'm just trying to show you. I'll just do this one like this on camera, and then I'll do the rest of them off camera. Now, remember I used to make these baby books, these great big baby books that had 12 pages, so they had 6 of these signatures. And they were really thick, so I had to sit and do this to the spine for each one of those books, and wow, but it looked really good, so it was worth it. I'm sure this pattern has like a name. I don't know what it's called. It's not really a pattern, it's the same thing repetitive over and over and over again. Alright, so now we're down to the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and grab that bottom signature, and I'm going to do the same thing. Until I've got all that covered. Whoa. Just like that. I'm going to try to trim that little piece that's sticking out right there. So it looks just like that. It looks way better. Way, way, way better. So, if you've got enough string or thread or yarn or whatever left on your needle, what you want to do is you can, you can go back in this very bottom, the hole you started with. You can flip it open, go back in, and then go in the middle hole. Come out the outside, and then you repeat the process, except you're going to go the other direction. So you just want to work your way across the spine. Okay, I'm going to do this off camera, and if anything exciting happens, I'll turn the camera back on. Okay, I got all 3 sets done. It's looking pretty cool. It's plenty of room there. There's a lot of wiggle room. I can add some more flowers and stuff. So now here's what we're going to do. The needle, when I got done with the decorative stitch, it's at the bottom. So I'm going to start at the back. So I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to grab the back cover. And all I'm going to do is lay it down. And you're going to see that I'm going to need to give it a little room because I've got flowers and stuff there too. But same thing, you know, you can do the decorative stitch to hide, you know, to make it look prettier. So, okay, so I've got my, I got my needle and my thread. Alright, so all you want to do is start wherever your thread came out, go into the eyelet there and out the eyelet and underneath the cover, right? So you grab it like that, don't squeeze too hard, and you want to hold that thread a little bit with this hand so that it doesn't get too crazy. Then you want to come up underneath the signature threads. I'll lift it up so you can see it. Now see, I pulled too tight, and I'm going to loosen it up a little bit. So I'm up underneath. I went up under here, like this, under the signature threads. Okay, so you do that, and then you come back up and go through the eyelet, back out the same way you did the first time. Don't pull too tight. I can already tell I'm wanting to pull too tight. Same thing. Go up underneath those threads. Not so tight, Jennifer. So it's habit. I can't help it. All right, so then you did that. So you can do that as many times as you want. So then you want to open it up to that inside of that signature, and you want to find that hole there, and you want to come back into the middle. Just like that. Then you want to go down to the middle of that signature, go through that hole, come on the outside. So you're on the outside of the spine again. Same thing. Go in the eyelet, out, tuck underneath the thread on the outside of the spine there. Like that. Again, in the eyelet, out, tuck under the thread. And then you want to go back in that center hole. So you got it. Sometimes it's a little difficult to get to it, but you should be able to find it. Oops. You have to take your time with this thread because it does want to get tangled up pretty easily if you go too fast, but it does come undone. You're just patient. Alright, so you came back into the middle. Now you want to go down to the bottom hole there. Come back out. Same thing, you're on the outside now. You just go into the eyelet, out from underneath the cover, go underneath the spine thread, back into the eyelet, out from under the cover, go back underneath the spine thread, don't pull too tight. And now the easiest way I found to do this, to go to the next, is to go back in that hole, that bottom hole there, tie a knot right there with those threads. There should be several threads right there. Just like that. Do it again. And then cut it off. And I usually put a dab of glue. So then you close it up. So now you need to put the front cover on. Alright, so the best way to do that, since I cut the thread, all I do to attach a new thread is to go up under that thread on the spine, no big deal, and pull it up to the top a little bit gently and just tie a knot. Because I'm going to put glue on these areas so that it doesn't come loose. So then I'm going to cut that extra off, just like that. And then I'm going to add my top cover. Let me move my magnet so I don't have to fight it the whole time. It's the same thing. You need to be careful not to pull too tight through the eyelet, out from underneath. Go underneath that thread on the spine, and the eyelet out under the thread on the spine. And then I'm going to go one more time just to make sure. Then you want to go back in that top hole and then out the middle there, like that. Same thing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing in between these that I did on the other part of the spine. So I'm just doing this just to make it look better, look neater, more uniform. So I'm going to do that to each one. And oh, I guess I should tell you, I'm going to cut it off each time. I didn't have to do it that way. If I would have done this decorative stitchy part last, it would look a lot different. So anyways, it wouldn't look a lot different. It would be a lot easier to just do it all at one time. So I'm going to grab some glue, just some matte multi-medium, and I'm just going to go ahead and tack some right there, just so I know that it's going to stick. And I've got a little stray string there I'll have to cut off in a minute. Alright, so I'm going to do the rest of them and be back. Alright, so now I've got all the spine finished. I've got it all. Did the decorative stitch. Those covers are on. There's plenty of room to add all kinds of yummy goodness. And it looks pretty cool. And it works really well. You see the inside, it looks really nice and finished. And so it turns, the pages turn really nicely. You don't have to worry. Oh, look at there. I almost glued that shut when I glued that flower on. Oopsie. So anyways, the pages turn really nice, and I can still add some more flowers. And there's in between the two signatures. See, there's quite a bit of space, but that works to your benefit. So there's these open up like this, so we can add some more stuff if we want to. And then there's the envelope, the little tuck there, and this one that folds down. So, and then there's this one. This one opens up this way. It has a flap and has a flap. Boom, boom. So I can add stuff to the covers if I want to. I am going to finish up this cover. I'm going to add the closure.